when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you are listening live to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, otherwise as we call it UPRN, to the thing at the foot of the bed with myself, Lorilei Potvin, and my amazing co-host and friend, David Hanzel. We see everybody signing in here, as Michelle says, whew, signs of life. Michelle, we have to go on a little bit earlier. I'll explain that in a few minutes after we get the housekeeping out of the way. We got a show before us now, so technically we start at 10 minutes after the hour. Basically, that's what it is. Anyways, welcome. If you've never been here before, we'd love to have new listeners and new viewers, and hi to all our crew that's here. If you want to join in with the crew we're going to say hi to as soon as we get through all the housekeeping, I'll tell you how to do that. You just need to head over, because 80% of our listening audience is audio only. This network's been around for 25 plus years, and we broadcast in every country around the world. So I'll also add this. We stream multiple shows 7 days a week, and we do have a show before us. So that's why we don't start till about 10 minutes after the hour. That's why, because we give everybody a chance to switch around and do all these things. But we do, like I said, stream multiple shows 7 days a week. And when we're not streaming live, the archive server picks shows over the last 25 plus years randomly, and you get to hear shows from past hosts, present hosts, all kinds of great content. There's something for everybody. So if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. A little bit about myself. Again, my name's Lorilei Potvin. I do have a show on the network as well of my own on Monday nights called The Angel Rock, which is from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Technically 6:10, but we say 6 to 8. It's just easier. And I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor, registered nurse, budding animal communicator. I'm what happened there, Dave? You disappeared. Ghost. Anyways, what else? I'm well versed in near-death experiences, having studied them professionally and personally for over 40 plus years, and had one as a toddler. I'm extremely well versed in the paranormal, having lived in my previous home before this for many years with extreme paranormal activity. And we've shared our experiences on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor on season 4. Episode 9 called Demonic Hauntings. Okay, did I forget to tell you guys? I'm leaving myself a note. Yes, I did forget something. And I started to tell you, if you want to, first of all, join in the commentary here and be part of the show, where you need to go is either to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on Facebook and YouTube. We're streaming to David's YouTube channel, which is The Spirit Experience, and his professional page, which is They Whispered to Me. I'm streaming to my YouTube, which is The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. I'm also streaming it on my Facebook profile, and it's open to the public, so anybody can watch. I forgot to start us on Instagram. How could I forget that? We're also streaming live on Instagram under the Angel Rock. There, now it started. Those of you on Instagram, if you think we're ignoring you, I promise we're not. This show, A Thing at the Foot of the Bed, and the Angel Rock are both very audience participative, and we like to involve you guys that are here and adding to the liveliness of the conversation. Otherwise, Dave and I just be having a cool conversation by ourselves. You guys add so much. So the problem is with Instagram, they don't integrate your comments over with the rest of the comments. So I have to keep switching back and forth. So we're not ignoring you. If you can, try and join us on YouTube or Facebook too. That way we'll be able to see a little bit easier. And lastly, if you want to watch us on TV, we have a TV channel for the network. It's on Roku. How you're going to find it is go to the channel store. You're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list. You're looking for about the third or fourth one down, and it says UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio. and that's us. And then you can watch us on TV. I think I remembered everything. So go ahead, Dave.
Finally. I think you got everything. Hey, everybody. My name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium. I do all the things pretty much that Lorilei does, animal communication and so forth. I'm also a channel and a channel writer. And I am a near-death experience survivor. My near-death was in 2015. And that's about it for that. And we do have
say hi. Want to say hi, or did you have something else you wanted to add?
Yeah, we have a group on Facebook, by the way, you guys, and it's called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. So you can join that group. It's a private group, and when you join in there, you see the video that we post to the live audience on there, or you can tell us anything that's happening to you or that you want us to talk about or you want us to look into. There's really no paranormal, metaphysical, or spiritual topic out of bounds on that. You can just ask anything. And that's it. That's it. And once we get...
You know what I will tell them? Because I was telling you before, you guys, I promised this, and we may talk about it again tonight. We got a good video collab for you guys to talk about. It's got some interesting things on it. But we were talking about orbs. So I went through, found the previous post in my own group, Paranormal University, that was from about 5 or 6 years ago, checked all the links because some of the links were dead links, have added a few more, including I've also added Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, who is an amazing host on her own network here on Fridays, Spirit Switchboard from 6 to 8 p.m. because she had, what's his name, Grant, sorry, I had to think about it for a sec. Grant Evans, who's a paranormal investigator, and it was actually talking about, I think it said paranormal A or something to that. Carrie Lynn's here. She may not be, but if she is, she can correct me. But I posted the audio to that podcast and also the video. If you can watch the video, it's great because Grant we were talking about rods, we were talking about different orbs, and he explains all the technology, and it's not too technical that you're going to get bored. It was quite interesting about why you may see a rod and what that is and what causes it from a camera, for example, or versus a video camera. Orbs, he went over a lot of the technology. And remember, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. But there was really a lot of great information in links. I also posted a live that my previous co-host from years ago, Seraphine Hurley and I, and another, she's my mod and I call her my adopted daughter, Juliana Pudu. We did a live teaching session, again, about 5 or 6 years ago about spiritual and psychic protection. And it talked about energy protection, maybe why you may want to shield yourself, how to deal with psychic attack, things like that. And the interesting part about it is 3 countries are represented, with me being in Canada, Seraphine being in the US, and Juliana being in Sardinia, Italy. And we all come from extremely different backgrounds, all working within the paranormal and the spirituality field. But it really gives you a different perspective on it. So those are posted in the group as well. So I wanted to add that. Sorry for that being so long, Dave.
It's okay. You know what I was thinking? Well, let's say hi to everybody. And I'm going to tell you something. This is about orbs and about the various times I've saw them and where I think they're coming from. It's just my theory. It's the Dave theory. Like I'm talking about the real orbs. But you might find it interesting. But anyway, go ahead. Let's say hi to everybody real quick.
Okay, I won't highlight, guys. I'll go quicker that way. So you got Mish in Australia. It's Friday over there. She says, good day, y'all. We got Michelle Wilfong. Says, hi, everyone. We've got Dave. I almost said to David, your channels. Then we got Diane Brighton. She says, hi, everyone. Julie Jean Bassett says, hi, everyone. By the way, Julie sent me, I'll try and post it. She sent me a great free master class. You guys have seen me pull up this book before. I use it in all my healing practices, Secret Language of Your Body. And Ina Segal, who wrote the book, is going to be running the class based on the principles from this book. So I'm going to do my darndest to join it. I believe it starts this week. So thanks for that, Julie. Contessa Martins is here. Let's see, I'm going through the highs. Jonathan Keyworth is here, and Jennifer M's here. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
So you guys, everybody's here. It says let's be a little bit more spookier this week. Not because I want to, but it's just going to sound spooky. So I used to do a lot of paranormal investigations, and I don't do many anymore, but I used to do a lot. I was sitting in my chair the other day, Lorilei, and I was just kind of thinking about all this stuff, and I was like,
Okay.
where do we think this comes from? You know, and I did my I was doing my, if you guys don't know, some mediums, a lot of us, we do something before we do readings called sitting in the power. So when you do sitting in the power, you're basically, it's not like a regular meditation. It's a certain thing to get into where you're literally just within the cosmos. I mean, you're not asking any questions. You're just out there in the information field, and sometimes stuff just comes in, you know, and that's how we get set up. And I usually do that in the mornings. But anyway, I was doing one after I was thinking about all that stuff, and all of a sudden I started getting all these weird ideas are coming into my head. And I thought this might be really kind of cool. So we know that Bigfoot sightings, there's usually orbs around.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of people don't think, the other cryptids too, there's orbs around. People don't talk about it much, but whenever there's a cryptid, there's orbs around. When we go into investigations where everybody agrees there is something in that place, okay? We don't know what it is yet, but there's something in that place, and we see orbs. And I am a believer in portals. I'm just not a believer I'm just not a believer that everything in the world is a portal. But a portal, when a portal comes, so we're on this side, or like on the left side, I'm putting my hand up for those who can't see us right now. So I'm putting my hand up. On one side of my hand, it's our world. On the other side of the hand is another world, maybe an astral world, maybe where ghosts are, maybe where Bigfoot resides, maybe whatever. And they walk through this portal. How do we know that when they walk through that portal, other energies don't come in through that portal with them? Because of the fact that
I think 100% that's what it
is. Because some orbs, that might be their form, because everybody thinks we're human beings all the time, and we're really not. I mean, you look like a human being when you want to, even after death and so on and so forth, but we're basically energy. We transform to a different kind of energy body. So when a portal's open, if you're in that dimension and you see that portal open, why not go, let's jump through there and see what's shaking? You know,
I don't think portals close.
Exactly.
So
I don't think they close either. Yeah.
My old house, I'm positive. And again, before I was doing this years ago, and in the beginning, I was never looking for the paranormal. It found us. And so I talked to so many psychics and mediums and paranormal investigators, and many of them that were intuitive picked up that I had a portal. I knew where the portal was. And it would close, it would open, and not just one thing would come through. I think there were lots of things, and water especially, I think is a huge place for portals, right?
Did I tell you what happened to me over the weekend? Did I write you?
I don't know.
Okay, so I woke up, and okay, this isn't meant to be scary or anything. So anybody listening, don't ever get scared of this if you're scared of stuff like that, because this wasn't scary, but it was kind of cool. I tend to wake up at certain times during the night. Okay, everybody has their certain times. I always wake up at what they quote as the witching hour. I always wake up around then, you know. So anyway, so I got up, and I don't have any lights on, and I'm in the attic upstairs. There's no lights on. I just have a little dim light over by my water bottle. So I got out of bed, and I'm taking a drink of my water bottle, and I was looking for one of my cats, and he's usually down at the end on top of the dresser, and he wasn't there, but I saw a white light floating, and I thought to myself, it's too solid to be an orb. So I walked over there, and I have to admit, for a minute I was like, it got me. Okay, it was like a jump scare almost. I walked over there, and you know what I thought in my head? I said to myself, maybe it's a firefly got in my house. Maybe that's what it was. So I went back to bed, and then I woke up, and then it floated across again, but it didn't do what it did before. It went across again and again, and I ran over there. I'm not saying it's anything, but I know this. It wasn't a firefly. The second time I saw it, it wasn't. It had a different look to it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you what I ask everybody when they message me, usually most people anyways. How did you feel once you got over the initial shock? did it feel
Oh,
scary?
I felt fine. I didn't feel scared,
Yeah.
but you know me.
Because it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like I
No.
can tell you, I have pictures of it. I'm going to have to go through an old device. In my old home, we had our furnace every year, brand new furnace, had to replace everything in that old home. To replace a furnace, and still it would be like minus 55 with the wind chill. Doesn't matter if it was Fahrenheit or Celsius, coldest time of winter, the furnace would stop working. And every time they'd come, there was a sensor that would become oxidized, and they could not understand how this was happening. So we had this young guy come finally, and this was about the 5th or 6th year in a row. And I said to my partner, Del, maybe I should stay down there with him just in case something happens, because that was the most active part of our house. It was kind of like in a column, like from the floors going basement, main floor. And I don't think we ever heard anything really in the attic. Anyways, I sat down there and I was thinking, oh my God, this poor young guy, he's thinking, what's this old bag sitting here chit-chatting at me, right? Because I mean, he was young. He's like my oldest son's age practically. Hi, Kathy, Hanley Little, and Dylan Robinson, and Nicole Thomas Ryan. We seen you sneak in. Nice to have you here. So anyways, I'm sitting there. And there's no lights on in the far back. That was kind of my craft room, computer part, whatever, right? And he was right. The furnace was there. There was a workbench, and then the laundry was on this wall, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him, and I have the pictures. He's bent over, didn't have the proverbial plumber's crack that you'd think, thank God. He was right in the furnace, and he actually cleaned it out properly, found out a bunch of stuff that had been installed incorrectly and the whole bit. But as I'm watching, I start blinking and I'm going, no, my eyes are playing tricks on me. I could literally see a black mist materialize in the far corner. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this. And so I started snapping pictures, and you can see it move across. And I don't know what would have happened to him had I not been there. I don't know. Like, I'm not making myself sound like, oh my God, I'm such a hero.
Yeah.
But I just kept talking, and then I'm trying to pretend I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to snap pictures without the flash, because I don't want the guy think I'm taking a picture of his butt as it's in the air. And there's pictures. So to me, but the thing is too, right? Even though something appears white and silvery, doesn't necessarily mean it's positive, versus everything that appears dark and misty doesn't necessarily mean it's always negative.
Exactly. It doesn't. Now, I got a second part to the story that I purposely didn't tell anybody first. That night, something happened. I was watching TV, and out of the blue. Now, if you understand, before my coma and before my near death, I suffered from like severe anxiety where I was like shaking, like, and I had to go to the hospital all the time. And I haven't had an attack since that. I don't even remember what they are. I was sitting in my chair and I was watching TV for a moment, and I started to feel kind of warm, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go adjust the air conditioning. And I looked, and it's like, it's already cold in here. So I sat back down, and all of a sudden I went to complete tunnel vision, and my chest just got like, I thought for a moment, I thought, all right, am I literally maybe a stroke, maybe a heart attack? Am I just too fat? Am I too unhealthy? What happened? And, so all those things go through my head. And then it stopped for a minute. And I was like, what would have brought that on? I was just watching TV. I literally had to get up out of my chair. I went outside. I sat on my porch on the rocker. I did everything I could to get luckily, I know how to calm a chest back down from when you have anxiety attacks. So I went through those things. I'm like, okay, I'm healthy. So, I don't know what happened. But that's when the lights showed up. The only conclusion that I came to about seeing the weird thing was, something traumatic happened to me for a moment, and I'm wondering if somebody came to watch over me while I was sleeping. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly why I smiled. I think that's
that's exactly what I think happened. And you guys, I'm not special. It doesn't mean that every time Davey gets a little boo-boo, they all come gather around. They do for you as well. It's just because who I am and what I do, sometimes I'm just able to perceive it. Because
I think too that depending on the energy something has on the other side, that they knew you would see it and recognize it for what it was and give you some peace and be able to sleep. And That's the beauty of that we have guides and we have angels and things like that. But the video that I sent you today, I was looking for something interesting to watch because we can also talk about this, how to differentiate. And that may be a couple shows, I think. So we don't spend the whole show lecturing about how to tell whether something may potentially be paranormal versus, going through what sometimes we need to do to debunk things. And you guys are welcome to ask questions. It does not have to relate to what we're talking about. You guys got some burning questions about something else you want to talk about, feel free. But I wasn't looking for this video per se. I actually went to see Just Nuke's Top 5 have a new video. And then Shannon, who's sometimes here, her and her hubby Sean, on Thursday night, she sent this to me, this channel, Bizarre Bub. And at first I wasn't super impressed, but actually since I've started to watch it, I've really grown to like it. And I have quite a few personal friends actually that have gone through a lot of loss this week, or people are going through the grieving process. It's coming up the anniversary, it seems, at this time of year. So it was interesting with this video that a lot of them pertain to, if you will, evidence of our loved ones letting us know that they're still around. So I'd love to show you guys this first video. Dave's seen it, and it's a bit longer, so we'll probably stop it in between to chat a bit, just with the fair use things with YouTube too. You can't just play somebody else's video, and because then they'll call it a watch party and a copyright strike, and we don't need that. So do you want to take it for a minute, Dave, while I set it up? Chat?
And just so you guys know, we're talking about paranormal and like supernatural. So like supernatural, people ask, what's the difference between it? Supernatural is like the phenomenon that's based in like a religious perspective. So if, let's say we'll use the word demon. So if people talk about demon or possession, that's not paranormal, that's supernatural, because it stems from a religious perspective, but not necessarily all possessions are religious perspectives. But the stuff like the real creepy things, or like when people saw the picture of Jesus on the toast, that's not paranormal, that's supernatural. When it comes to paranormal, is anything.
I would call these things paranormal, because to me,
it would be paranormal as well, because paranormal basically is anything that can't scientifically be proven.
Well, and that's why, as a nurse, for example, when we're charting about what we're doing, one of the main things you learn at least when I went to university, and most nurses I know, you can't, when you're trying to describe, say, a wound or a post-operative bandage or whatever, you can't use words like normal, because your normal versus my normal versus completely different. So to me, and I think you explained it perfectly with the paranormal, it's basically something that can't be explained. Supernatural, I think, narrows it down more, though. So I have to.
It does. That's all that supernatural is. But when somebody asks the question, what's the difference? You know what? I had a really cool question on TikTok before we get started today. Okay. Somebody wrote to me and said, "Hey, David, could you speak about parallel universes and how that works and all that?" And I was like,
"Oh God, David, we could do a whole show on that."
I know. But I did a 1-minute-and-20-second video explaining something in very simple terms. So if you want to go to my TikTok channel, it's the last one I just posted. But
I think that's a good idea. Then people can check you out. You want to tell them how to find it so they can find it, because you're hard to find.
If you go to TikTok, I talk about a lot of stuff, paranormal stuff, my NDE stuff. It's at Medium David Hanzel. No underscores, no dots, no nothing. There's over 95,000 followers. If anything is different and it's under 95,000, that's a scammer, because I have probably, I think there's like active. Well, I blocked a bunch of them, but there's like 20, 25 people, and they'll message you and say, "Oh, dear one, I feel there's something you need to know. Would you like a reading? Contact me on WhatsApp," or some kind of crap like that. I'll tell you guys, anybody listening, I don't use WhatsApp, not because I don't like it. I just don't use it. And two, I don't solicit readings and PMs, and I don't say, "Oh, dear one."
I always tell people when I'm teaching people about when we get friend requests from people, or someone messages you and they might seem legit, or you might have friends in common. If they message you and say dear or dear one, pretty well 9.999999 out of 10, they're not from North America. That's a
Yeah.
term that's used over in the East, if you will.
Yep.
Asian countries, India, nothing wrong with it, but that's how they address
That's who
people.
they go from. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
That's
So
a
you
good
got the
way to
video.
build momentum. You don't have to give it away, because that's a big passion of mine, talking about timelines, portals, dimensions, you name it. Love talking about that.
Oh,
Not
me
so much on
too.
air, but off air with quite a few of my friends. We really get into that, especially
I-
my close friend Leanne.
Yeah, to anybody listening, I spend so much time
Right.
theorizing. I spend a lot of time trying to figure that out, and then I go back and forth between meditations. I go back and forth between medications and talk about parallel lives. In this life, I'm an addict. In this life, I just got off the stuff. You know.
Well, so leave it at that before we start the video. Thanks, Michelle. She says, have a great day. Great show, folks. Off to work. Bye. Have a good day at work. And Diane
Enjoy your crummy job.
and Diane Brighton said scam language. Yep, you can pretty well
Yep,
bet.
it
I have
is
a really
yeah.
great app too, you guys. I have an iPhone. I'll tell you guys the one I use, because I had a Seraphine one night on a previous show years ago was saying, well, all kinds of good apps are good for searching. I said, yes, they are. But this is, I have a whole file because there's so many scammers out there. There's even groups on Facebook. If you look up Scam Alert or Scammers, people, they have a group and people will post the most common pictures that they will use. But first of all, my rule of thumb is, if there's a really good looking guy that's about 20 years younger looking than me, that says either, especially, or he's in a doctor or he is in the military, that makes me suspect right away. The other big scam that is going around right now, my partner had it, and I said, you need to tell people not to accept, because I was getting all kinds of messages from people asking me if my partner had a new profile very quickly. And I said, because every time somebody accepts a friend request, I think this is a viral worm, like that kind of thing. And it infects your computer, and it actually hacks your friends list on Facebook and then sends more and more of this all around, right? So I have a cure for it. I have it saved. I just send it to people. It's happened to so many friends, because it'll be somebody on your friends list, but they'll add a word or they'll change it. So you got to watch for them. But anyways, the app, quickly, and then we'll show you the video. Hang on. The app I use, it's called Image Search, and it automatically searches when you upload a picture, because I check, because a lot of them use the same pictures. There's it searches Bing, it searches Google, it searches Yandex it's a Russian search engine, but it searches a lot of Europe, and it'll even search TinEye. And TinEye is a photos social media search engine you can use. And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, I usually find the scammer on there. If you see that profile picture with different names more than once, and it's not the name you're looking for, that's a scammer.
Yeah. I had a couple, long time ago, I had some people who would contact me and they said, oh, does this person who I met online love me? And I'd be like, oh, honey, that's not a real person. That's, I hate telling people that. I think the people who do that should get tarred and feathered.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different show, right?
Well,
let's show the video, you guys.
Creepy orbs and stuff.
Well, you guys watch for it and see if you can see the orbs. It's a bit of a longer video. We're going to stop and start, like I said, to go through it. But it's a really touching story. They make it seem a little bit spooky, but it leaves us with a question at the end of this video. I think that opens a doorway for a little bit of discussion. So hang on and see what you think. I got to make it bigger here. Go bigger. Go big or go home. There we go. That's as big as I can make it.
That's perfect. Yeah.
May 10th of 2024, a small family gets together to celebrate someone's birthday. As with any birthday celebration, the traditional happy birthday song is sung by everyone there. However, it would be during this festive party that something very strange happens. According to Brookie Diaz, the birthday girl, there hasn't been a day where she hasn't thought about this incident. What happened on her birthday will forever linger in her head. It's around 9 p.m. when this is captured. Take a look.
Happy birthday, dear Brookie.
Happy birthday to you. Make a wish. Make a wish. Make a wish. Right. Whoa. All right, Jackie. I'm taking for oh, for God! I don't want to know the details. All right, here, honey. The girl's got to have a present. This is from me. Yeah.
Well, we should tell everybody because it doesn't say it.
Should we have to? You don't really need to see.
Press its path.
Hope you're doing well. I'm feeling much better now, so whenever you can. Hey, kiddo. Hope you're doing well. I'm feeling much better now, so whenever you can, just come visit.
I'm going to pause it for a sec, guys, in case you can't see that what it says on the screen. Obviously, it's this girl's birthday, and her mom, to get her a really special gift, went to Build-A-Bear and bought her a bear dressed like how her dad used to dress. Her dad had died just previously a few months ago. It might have even said a year ago, barely a year ago.
It's like a year, yeah. That's what I mean to tell them because people listening can't read that, yeah.
Okay, and then what happens is she put the last voice message. The mom put the last voice message her daughter had ever received from her dad on there. So as she's playing this message, listen in the background. And her dad used to be a firefighter, so that will help for them. Thanks, Dave. I forgot the people that are listening, so thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. So people listening and watching, you're going to be listening for something as she's playing the message, okay? So hang on. I'm going to start play.
Okay.
Shut up. No way. That has not worked. That has not worked.
Somehow, a toy fire truck goes off right when the family listens to Dad's message. Now, this fire truck isn't just a random toy, but a collectible that the father cherished. Considering that this went off at the same time, they can't help but think that Dad was reaching out to them. Whether or not this might have been a coincidence remains uncertain. However, it's the following video, taken only a week later, that leaves Brookie and her family completely baffled. Brookie's lying in bed, trying her best to record the following.
I'm going to pause this just for a second again for a reason. Sorry, guys, for the pauses, but that way it goes along with fair use. I want you guys, if you can see it, we were talking about orbs. Now, I'm not saying this is absolutely 100% an orb, but see if you can pick up some of the light anomalies just before what happens in this video. There's a couple parts that happen in this video. It's a little bit longer video, but it's a good video. So hang on, I'll let it play through.
I just missed a call from my dad. He's been gone. Like, I just heard his voice one more time.
We're seeing a missed call from her dad, it says. Do you see what's going on? So her bear went off, but then you're going to see why she was crying in a minute. I just wish you could go give her a
It's because of this incident that Brookie believes her father had been present. She took it as a sign that her dad was reassuring her that he was still there, even though she had missed the opportunity to talk to him. Whether or not he was actually on the line is unknown, but nevertheless, it was already strange to hear the teddy bear with his voice talking at this moment. While this occurrence was already baffling enough, something happens only days later.
I'm going to pause it there again because this is the last part that they try and make spooky. So she definitely has some light anomalies, but she definitely has activity around it, right? So for people listening, her phone rang and she missed it, and it said missed call from dad. Now, that's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that lots.
Yeah, that's happened.
I've known people that, yeah, text messages, like with actual word here and there, but a lot of just gobbledygook letters all over, but it says who it's from. And right, yeah, Dave, I've seen phones ring that aren't plugged in. All kinds of. Go ahead, Dave. You're going to say something?
No, I was gonna say I agree with you. I've seen those things. I mean, I literally have saw the people who answered their phone and somebody called and all that stuff, and they're not here anymore. So I'm a big believer in that, whether it can be scientifically proved or not. I believe in it because I saw it firsthand. You know, even like just so you know how that is possible for stuff like that to happen. My brother is on an urn in my parents' house, and my other little brother was all wasted one night and feeling sorry for himself and grabbed my brother's urn and went outside in the porch with it, was holding it up and doing all this stuff with it. And their lamps in their house started flashing. And it was my mom to this day. She'll go, that was Kevin. I know it was. I'm like, I'm sure it was. I mean, because we've checked those. They actually still got the same light bulbs in them from 7 years ago. They haven't even gone out yet. They don't use that lamp often. So stuff like that can happen. It really can happen.
Well, I'm going to show a couple of videos on here because I said you didn't get a chance. It's not Dave's fault because I found this kind of late. But towards the end of it with lights, it's kind of cool. This whole video isn't necessarily super scary, but I think it really starts to show that our loved ones are really with us. There are a few spooky things in here. There are a few.
There's a little. Now the orb part of it, I've watched it, and I saw the screen, and I put it on my iPad, my big screen too. The thing that gets me though, some of them are sideways, so they appear flat. Sometimes when that happens, if you can see. If they look like one-dimensional or whatever, a lot of times that could be something like off the Ring camera or something. Not saying it is, not saying it isn't. The thing that got me a bit more suspicious as far as orbs go is when she turned on the light, there was nothing else. Like I said, orbs can literally show up in the light, but I'm not saying that they weren't orbs.
I didn't say it was an orb. I called it light anomalies.
Yeah, but there was one. There's one in there though. I'll point it out to you later.
Associated with it right before something happens, and it was sort of in between, right? Because she was crying, filming herself. She had just missed her dad's call. And the lights were still off, and you see, and I'm not saying they're orbs. All I'm saying is
one of them was awfully suspect as far as an orb goes, though. One of them was.
Then her hair went off on the dresser across from her. That's why she turned the lights on, right?
Yeah, turned the lights on. Yep.
So Michelle thinks there's definitely orbs, and Jennifer M says with so many signs occurring simultaneously, it's much more than a coincidence. Well, I know I say this, and I'm pretty sure Dave does. I don't, and I've heard many other people that work in the field that there are no coincidences.
There's really no such thing as coincidences, and there's really no such thing as accidents. You know. So
Jennifer M says, I believe it. And Nicole Thomas Ryan said, I had 2 calls from the other side, one from my grandmother and one from my family friend. Oh, that's beautiful, Nicole. Well, let's play. So the last part seems kind of spooky because then and Julie said, I agree. She thinks there are orbs too. So the last part, when I first started watching the first time, I went, oh no, like is something decided to come into their home and pretend it's her dad. But you guys see what you think at the end, because as soon as I saw what happened, he explains this terrifying thing that happens, and I'm expecting something horrible. By the time I saw what happened, I was no longer thinking it was something else. But you guys see what you think, okay? It's an interesting video. Okay, let's play.
That leaves her extremely unnerved. Now, the following incident, as she believes, had nothing to do with her father, Whatever happened that night, according to her, made her feel immensely terrified, which she knows her father would never do. It's late at night when this is captured.
Couple light anomalies in there again. I'm not calling them orbs,
Nice.
but
I saw them, yeah.
here's
Now, this particular video is something that Brookie doesn't like talking about, and for good reason. She was so shaken by this incident that talking about it now brings up strong emotions for her. Although knowing that posting this video wouldn't help, she hopes that someone could explain what happened. While some believe it might have been her dad's spirit reaching out, she believes it was something else. That night, she was overcome with a sense of dread, the likes of which she had never felt before. So understandably, she would rather talk about the pleasant moments that were caught on camera. At least these help her to cope with the passing of her father. These moments serve to remind her that despite being gone, her dad will always be there. As with all videos, this one remains a mystery.
So I'll stop sharing. What did you guys think? Julie did share. My mom called me the day after she died. Thanks for sharing with us, you guys, your personal experiences. So I don't know. Pretty interesting video, I think.
Yeah, no, it's a good video. I mean, if it's real, it's a great video. I mean, I'm not saying it's not.
It's fake, David. I don't think it's fake.
I think what the only thing I think is that stuff was not by the person, not by the girl or her family, but I think some things were changed around and edited to make it look a certain way, and things were added into it. What bothered me is that the person who posted this video here has literally, I don't know if that was a picture of her dad, like driving the car.
It was a video clip of her dad.
No, but I wonder is why are they're putting all this out there, or did somebody ask for it? I'm not saying it's not real. It's just things I think about because I always want to know exactly what happened. As far as the beginning of it, oh God, yeah, I think that is absolutely real. Absolutely. And it's unfortunate that she would get scared, and they made it scared because I'm a believer that the door is opening up for her father. And just to really let her know. But when people say, if she said, I feel dread, well, if you're not used to this stuff, you're always going to feel dread. If I wasn't used to ghosts or anything like that, half the stuff in my house would scare the hell out of me.
Well, I was expecting something really awful, and I think her dad was coming through. I don't know if maybe she was really having a really awful time. It sounds like she is. I don't think it's a fake video. I really don't.
Kathy, I agree with Kathy. She says, I believe she had a very loving experience. So do I. I believe that she had a loving experience. I think, unfortunately, the person who put the video together made it a little different.
I don't think he might have edited it, but these videos are either sent into him. He's like Nuke's Top 5, or like Nuke's Top 5 does.
He decides the narration, and his narration was.
Yeah, but he narrates to explain what's going on. But I'm sorry, I really believe that this was real. Yes, she probably did feel a sense of dread, especially when two doors open.
I believe that came in, and I believe that she felt terrible. I wish somebody would tell her, though, you might have only felt if she would have felt a sense of dread and then the doors opened, I would have been okay.
Well, I'm sure you can find her, Dave. I think she's listed. I'll post this in our group, you guys. It's from Bizarre Bub, and I think she's listed at the bottom, or it tells you her name. But he says she posted it because she's asking people if people could explain what this was that happened at the end. So Nicole Thomas Ryan shared maybe a draft somewhere that made the doors open. We have to consider that when we're looking at
You have to consider it, yeah.
But the fact that she's having these experiences around the year mark, it sounds like it was in a couple weeks of her birthday. I I believe, just like Julie Jean Bassett and Kathy said, I believe she had a very loving experience. And
That's what I believe.
Julie said, well, let me finish, Dave. She said, I believe her dad came through. And then Julie said, I believe it was real too. I had something with my dad too, several things. And I was expecting something horrifying to happen. And of course, my brain was going to, did something to, drop by. We get passersby sometimes, especially when we work in this field. And did it decide to pop in and take advantage of her grief? Like, it's a lower vibrational energy, right? And then when I saw what happened, I thought, oh, you poor sweetheart, your dad was either letting you know he's there, or maybe he had a message. Maybe there was something somebody needed to hear or know that he was there. I don't know, but I don't think it was fake. That's just my opinion. We're all entitled to our opinion, but I don't think it was fake.
I don't think it was fake. I'm saying the narration does not match the actions. I've studied that stuff. I studied improv. I studied acting. I studied all that. And there's something about, not her. I believe her experience was real. I really do. I believe that was her dad. And I believe that was just trying to say, hey, I'm good. I'm cool. And maybe he figured out how to come back more. So he made the doors open. And to say, I'm still here. You may be sick of the bear. Maybe I'll give you the doors. But the thing that got me, what I observed in almost everything and everyone, including how many paranormal investigators have you seen? If one door opened, right away they would go, oh my God, and it would be all over TV and they'd make fake. She was cool. She was cool and calm. So that's why I think
she was by her breathing. She sounded like she was terrified to me in the background.
Anybody, I would have jumped out of my bed so fast and ran if I didn't know anything about the paranormal. But that's what
you could look her up, or somebody could look her up and see.
Because it's interesting. I would tell her cool. Yeah,
I'm glad that he shared it in this compilation. I thought it was really touching. And
no, it is really good. I'm just saying the way my mind works when I look at videos, I just study them, and I'm not negating her experience. Her experience is very real.
But you didn't let me finish. What I was going to say is, had he not put it in this compilation, we all might not be watching it, right? We might not have seen it. So he put this all together in a compilation. It's kind of what his channel does. And maybe it's not great in your opinion. I don't know. But like I said, I'm glad he shared it, because for people I enjoyed,
don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the video and I like that it's out there. But I'm saying, if I have to sit here and make a decision on my own, with my own opinion, with my own eyes and what I observe, I don't think he did it justice. As far as showing the video, I'm glad he did. As far as the narration goes, I probably would have put a little bit more context, but he's not going to, because one, it's YouTube. And in order for you to nobody watches a Friendly Ghost YouTube channel, which I wish they would, because this is a beautiful story. Absolutely.
There's lots in this one, though. There's some spooky stuff, but there was some, like, remember we were talking before the show, and you had said that you hadn't had a chance to get to the very end. I thought it was kind of nice that, instead of being scared crapless, like most of these people sometimes, like you said, especially the last one, and there was 2 put in there, and I believe it was really showing that these people's loved ones were there. And I wish we could.
That's what I think. I wish they would have left it at that. I wish they would have said the door's open and she was scared for a moment, but she's not sure what it was, so she's asking.
The way I took it from how he narrated it, she put it out there because she's not sure what it was, so she's asking people to let her know. So whatever social media platform, I guess, that she used, she was asking people, like, what happened there, like, because she said, I felt the worst sense of dread. Well, of course you would if you've never seen 2 doors open. And
I know. That's what I mean. I'd feel dread too if I never saw that before.
Well, actually, Contessa said, I know Lorilei has had some scary experiences in her other home. What about you, David? Have you ever had scary experiences? And before you answer, David has had lots, but we've had different experiences, as every human being would, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I have lots of them. It's all going to affect people differently and how they come about. Like Lorilai's main terrible experience, it was actually almost good that it happened because now she does what she does. So sometimes we got to look at, it's true. When someone closes the door, the window opens. It's pretty much how that went for that. And I've had some I've had some scary ones.
I talked about them on here, especially when you were growing up. Like, then you really weren't trying to figure out what was going on when you were little.
Yeah, I was like 4 and 5 when they were opening up closet doors and making noises in the house and calling my name and making electric plugs spark. I mean, and was I scared back then? Oh hell yeah! I was like, what the hell is this? Is scary. As I got older and realized nothing was really hurting me, then they went away. But I think anything out of the norm, I think, can be scary to people. I really do, because like if I encountered what Lorilei encountered, it'd probably be a whole nother different way of seeing it. I'd probably be like, no, that shit was bad. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not doing anything with the paranormal.
My partner Del is, and you've said this, and I'll say it too, it's with no disrespect, as skeptical as you are sometimes about the paranormal, right? And the reason why is you want, like you explained yourself earlier, you got to look at the whole thing. And I've said it many times too myself. I want to know more. I need to know more about the story.
I like the big picture of it. But no, that's a wonderful story though. So you guys all think that too? I would think that was her father, because in my line of work, I've seen that all too much.
Well, and the way I do have to give you, the way he was narrating, I was expecting something horrible like that.
I was too.
To show up burst. And then when I seen the doors pop open, I actually had like a happy giggle. It was like, really? And then I had to stop and think, if she's never experienced this, it would make her feel dread and terrified, especially if she's watched a few ghost programs on TV. Paranormal.
Yeah, the poor girl. Yeah, and being that young, I mean, they're subjected to all that. So I get that. I am so glad. See, when I saw her, the thing was, when she was laying in bed and she was texting, the one funny thing I had to say was, she needs to get off her phone, because she was on it all night long. But when she was. But when I know that's why. But when she was laying in bed and after she said she missed a call and then the teddy bear went off again, I'm like, well, why didn't that scare you? Because she was very calm about it, just like with the doors. So I think that actually,
I don't think she was. I think when you watch it again and you hear her breathing, I think she was so terrified because you hear her going.
Yeah. Well, everybody's going to do that with a door.
She was scared. She was scared. And Diane agrees with you. It just seems creepy when he spoke in the video. Unnatural. I agree. And Michelle thinks
it was the little toy that was making it. He was making the little toy game out. It recorded. It was like a Teddy Ruxpin kind of bear. It had records on it. They put the sound of her.
From Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, Build-A-Bear. Yeah, but no, when she got in, I saw how calm she was. Well, when you see the orb one, when she's calm, she gets out of bed and she holds the bear and she reminisces and she cries. Okay, that's normal. I get it why she did that. That bear wouldn't scare her. It happened already. And she probably already knew in her mind, that's got to be dad. But then when the doors open, I can understand how that would frighten anybody. Because even me, if my door just opened up all of a sudden, I would turn around and go, why is that?
I have no privacy in my house. So it's just like anybody, the dog, the cat, the kid, everything.
Yeah, but that was. But I like the story.
I hear you.
I wish I could talk to her and go, that is nothing to be afraid of.
I know, that's kind of how I felt. I wish I could just give her a big hug and tell her.
Just say, it's all good. It's all good. Your dad didn't mean it. I mean, and I guess there's, people say, why would a ghost do that? A ghost should know her. Yeah, well, maybe he did know her enough.
I almost feel like she really needed it, and you were right.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It was a year, and you could tell she was having. Any kid would have. I call her a kid. I know she's grown up, but she's young. And you know what? It sounds like There's a thing, right? They always say mums and sons and dads and little girls, right? Yeah. And I bet you she was really missing her dad. It was just around her birthday, and and I think he was just letting her know. Letting them all know.
That's what I think. I think that's a perfect. I mean, I think all spirits should do that.
I have a video. video I'd love to show, because it would be interesting to hear what people's thoughts are on this. I think I know what it is. I can't identify absolutely what it is, and I would need more info. Now, the skeptic in David is going to say, I can tell you already.
It's not that I'm just skeptical. It's just like
I'm not being mean, because I think it's important. I think it's very important. And I think we all need, like, I will tell you right now, my partner Del is, like he said, many of the things you have said before. And we've always said that I'm more to the left, if you will, and he's more to the right. And we usually meet in the middle. But you do have to be skeptical, because not everything is paranormal, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I realized. I think the only reason why I'm skeptical of things is because I've spent the last 8 years since my NDE trying to tell people there is no such thing as death. So don't worry about it. Do your life and enjoy the hell out of it. But when I see other people make these videos that make everything scary, like, oh, after death, there's hellfire and all this other stuff, that's like, no.
Well, you know what? First of all, let's shout out Nicole Thomas Ryan, because she's our guru. She's the one, if you're an OG of the thing at the foot of the bed. She created Kevin Bacon, the thong at the foot of the bed. You can find that in the pinned comments in her group, by the way. It's hilarious. And she always finds these videos. She just said, I found the original video. I will share it in the Facebook group. There was something I was going to say before that. It was important. Crap. If I keep talking, it'll come up.
Yeah.
Oh, what were you just saying before I said that, Dave?
Oh, I was going to say paranormal groups and all of us.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
This is something really important, and I know Dave will back me up 100%. A lot of us could have paranormal in our home, but not everything's evil, you guys.
Yeah, not everything.
No, lots of times I know many people that have paranormal activity. And you can get someone in like David, myself, anybody that does this kind of work to come in. You can try it yourself. You don't need somebody special. Nope. And you can speak to them and say, hey, I know you're there. If you can figure out what they want, fine, great. If they still just want to hang out, they're not bugging you, tell them they're creeping you out. You stay to your corner, I'll stay to my corner, and we can all live to agree to stay under the same roof. Do you know what I heard before? And I wish this would happen with the amount of frequency that TV shows that there's, quote unquote, for people listening, demons. I actually heard this story. It was on my friend Jason Bland's show, Paranormal Soup, that one guy had a ghost that used to put his laundry away for him. Sometimes the dishes would be done. Why can't we all have a ghost like that?
Oh, I want a ghost like that. Not all ghosts are from the 1800s either.
I know.
Yeah. But the reason when I'm saying I like when people do investigations, and I like when people do that, because our main objective, I think some groups lose sight of it. Our main objective is to let people know we have proof of life after death. Proof of life after death. But some people don't want to, they're not doing that. They're like, well, we don't care about proof of life after death. We just want to find a demon. And they'll do whatever they can. Because, in reality, if you went into the house and you proved that there's a demon, well, then you would have to also say then that there is life after death. Whether it's a demon or not, there's life after death. Proved it,
Absolutely. Okay, this one's not too long, but it's kind of interesting. I saw it right away. You guys see if you'll see it. I don't want the family plan for a month. Thank you, you two. They're giving me the ad.
Family plan.
Oh, wait, hang on. The volume went back on. Now it's decided to play. I want to back it up to the beginning. Okay, wait, 6. There we go. Okay, let me get you guys set up here quickly. Well, okay, so this is interesting. And it comes from apparently about 10 years ago. It's not that long. And yeah, it's kind of interesting what shows up. And I don't know if they saw it in real time. Dave, do I look small on your screen? You look small on our screen for some reason to me. Do we look small to you?
No, they're both even on my computer.
No, it looks like about this big. I must have done something. Hang on. I hate doing this one, though, because then we look really big. I know. That's why I don't like doing that one. Hang on.
Anybody who's watching on Roku, I'm so sorry that our big old face is probably
our big old face. There, that's the one I want. I made it bigger. Okay, good. Okay, hang on. This one is interesting. It's not that long. So you guys feel free to watch ahead. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. I think I did make it bigger.
Oh, I watched this one.
Okay, so it was interesting. Do you not think it was interesting?
Very interesting.
Okay, hang on. It went ahead on me again. Darn it. Okay, go back. Go back. No, to 6. Okay, this is number 6 in the compilation.
This next footage was posted 10 years ago, making it by far the oldest video on this list. But even so, this video continues to unsettle viewers. Those who've seen it, which very few have, can't seem to explain what was captured. In it, a woman is seen dancing by herself at a party, when suddenly, something in the background is caught on camera. This is what was caught.
This wasn't the original one I was going to show. What's behind her? Might be hard to see.
Strangely, a small child just disappears while climbing up the stairs. It happens quickly, almost too quickly, that it seems like something ghostly was caught on tape. But even stranger is that no children were present at the party, or at least that's what the person who took this video claims. If no children had been there, then who was this? But most importantly, how exactly did they vanish in just a matter of seconds? Like most videos, there has yet to be a definitive answer to this question.
This might be hard to see, you guys, but we're going to, for anybody listening or for the rest of the group, I'm going to post this whole video compilation after the show tonight in the thing at the foot of the bed, our group on Facebook. So what did you saw that one, Dave, did you?
It was fun. I like the video. It's fun.
That's not the one I was going to show. Did you see the one with the dogs?
I didn't see what
and the door knocking.
No, I didn't see
okay,
that
that's
one.
what I think
one.
you're going to
say. Okay, you're going to do that next. But this one, okay, I can't say it's real or fake because I don't have all the information. So it'd be stupid for me to just say it. But I will say this. I noticed a few things about it. And then it reminded me of, do you remember that movie star, that lady, they were filming her in the red carpet and a lady walks by and it looks like she disappears. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the actual girl, the actual daughter of the girl is a movie star, and they showed that to her, and she goes, "That's my mom." And then they went on to find out it literally was a camera angle. That camera angle was just right, but she walked by, so that was debunked. The little boy one, I tried to look to see if there was something similar. I couldn't see it, but I noticed one thing.
Okay.
And I don't know what it means. And here's the one thing I noticed. The little boy had a shadow.
I noticed that too. And I knew there were going to be people that will say that. I'm going to tell you right now. I have seen, not all the time, but I have seen shadows with ghosts. And Kathy Hanley Little just said what you did. It was casting a shadow.
That's what I mean. It was casting a shadow, and that was a person's shadow. Now, a ghost shadow, I know what you're talking about, where it looks, I know what that is. I agree with you, Lorilei. That can happen.
It can, because look at the videos where we've seen just quickly, I was going to say, where we see somebody up in an office, and it seems in Mexico for some reason. Mm-hmm. And it's construction. I've seen about 4 or 5 different scenarios where a guy is down like on the work floor or a mechanic's shop or whatever, and he's talking. He's talking to someone, his hands are moving. He's going, yeah, over there, blah, 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 right? And then the guy upstairs on the security goes through the speaker, who are you talking to? Oh, it's so-and-so. What do you mean, who am I talking to? They're right here. And we can't see anything. And then I've seen a few where they interview that person. That person in spirit form was as solid as a human being, me and you beside each other, or anybody else talking.
Yeah. The thing is, in person, I've never saw a shadow behind a ghost. So I have to premise it with that. But I did notice, like what Kathy Hanley Little say, it was casting a shadow. So it's hard to say if it was just a weird angle. But whether it was or not, with how it was set up and everything, it's creepy and it's fun. I think it's a fun video.
You got to look at the technology from 10 years ago. We didn't have the deep fakes that we did. They weren't looking for a ghost figure to film. Could it have happened? Yes. Right.
Yes, it could have.
Could have happened.
Absolutely. I'm just, but like I said, I always look at stuff like that and it confuses me. But you know, it's like, it's another one. I wish when they made videos, they like Nicole Ryan is so good at this. But when they make video clips and they show you little video clips, it's like, I've got to see the whole thing. You
Well,
know
the
what I mean?
other thing is too, right? There is a guy, and it was on YouTube. He was featured on Nuke's Top 5, and he never tells you what to think, but he gets some pretty good clips sent in.
I like
And
Nuke's Top 5.
this looks so real. And it was about this little girl and his niece, and her name was Amy, and she was being haunted by this girl spirit. And there's video clips. You guys will still see it in video compilations where people don't look where videos come from. And she's there under a sheet on top of the bed. Amy's sleeping, and the uncle goes in absolutely terrified. You see feet at the bottom. He pulls a blanket and it's gone. Like, this is one of the most realistic videos I've ever seen. He sees his niece at another time, 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting there sound asleep in the living room, sitting in front of a cupboard, like a TV cupboard. And you see these arms coming through. You can't see any cuts in the video. He runs and the arms disappear, and it's a whole thing. Guess what, guys? It was a fake series, and the guy finally admitted it. He had it on TikTok and everything. It was one of the most realistic ghost looking things I had seen, because he didn't do anything crazy that you would go, there's no way, like that's obviously fake.
Yeah,
like
some is good. And you don't want to know what? I mean, even with, listen, I'll be totally honest with the entire listening crowd and everything. Even without all the scary YouTube videos, there really is some things like in our field that is scary. There really is. You know, but we know as what we do, we know what we're okay with it for some odd, weird, effed up reason. I don't know why we are, but it doesn't scare us as much.
Well, you know, the best video I've seen recently, and I believe I've shared it in our group a couple of weeks ago, is Sean Glenn Productions. He was with his brother. They were the ones that were the Navajo Guardians. His brother's a medicine man for the tribe. They've had some kind of falling out. They're unearthing the supernatural. Is an incredible video series to watch if you watch them investigating, because most of them were filmed live. Okay. There's some crazy stuff that happens in there. And again, you guys got to be the own judge of it. If you don't believe it, we don't tell you what to believe either. Dave gives you one opinion, I give you another. You guys take what works for you. Do your own research.
Yeah, that's what I say. Always do your research. Never be, there's a guy on TikTok I love, his name's Mitch. People post like scary things and he explains everything, and then he says, don't be a sucker. I hope that helped. And he goes at the end, I think the guy's great. He doesn't do a lot of paranormal stuff, but just like when people show animals and stuff, and he knows what CGI is. But yeah, like Lorilei said, we'll give you a couple different sides. I mean, for the most part, me and Lorilei agree on a lot of things. There's a couple of things that we talk about differently, but we do that on purpose because we don't want you guys to just fall for anything.
Well, plus we're telling you the truth and how we really feel and think. And that's the beauty in this show, including our friendship. We don't know. We can agree to disagree. And like, okay, Diane, like you've shared, I've never seen a shadow from a ghost. My step-grandmother came one night 6 years ago after her death, was in front of a mirror, no reflection. But what I want to remind you of, that is your experience though, right? My famous thing, and don't get me wrong, I've been guilty too, but I try to remember that just because I haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Somebody else very well could have experienced it, and maybe that was what they needed to experience.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'd like your comment, Diane Brighton, because I'm going to tell you this. I crossed my heart.
You got to read it, Dave.
I'm sorry. So Diane said, "Oh no, not that part. No, going up."
Oh, not that. I thought that was a good one. Sorry, go up high. The one I just said, or higher?
The one higher up. Yeah.
Higher. Okay. How's that start?
Which we said with the grandmother that we already read.
I just read that. Okay.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm commenting on. So one, it says 6 years after her death, was in front of a mirror, no reflection. I kid you not, Diane. I hope you find this. And it was, I'm going to say, it spooked me out for a moment, but I didn't let it spook me out too much because nothing hurt me. So I was on an investigation. At the end of the hall was a big mirror on a door. Okay. So I was walking, as I'm walking, and my light's in there, and I see behind me, there's this ethereal figure. And I looked in there and I turned around and it wasn't behind me. And then when I went forward again, it was in the mirror. And now that one right there, that one confused me. And that one made me go, okay, there's something weird going on in this place. But that was awfully weird that I could see it in the mirror, but I couldn't see it with my own eyes.
I believe that I've had that happen lots. There's a video on here actually where you think you see the daughter's reflection in the mirror. And I screamed actually outside while I was watching it. I went, oh my God. Because sometimes you can see things in mirrors, but you can't see them in front of you. And then it was his daughter spooking him. So you think that's the whole video because you guys will see it. You'll have to go to our group and you'll see that, or you can go on YouTube and look up Bizarre Bub, the latest video. And because he hears footsteps and he goes down the basement, he's filming it all, right? And he doesn't see anything. You don't see anything move, anything like that. And he heads up the stairs. First thing I thought when he opened the back door, there's all these toys on the steps. That was a little sus. And this could very well be faked. Okay. And I thinking, who the heck leaves toys on the steps if your kids are going down the basement to a playroom? But nonetheless, he's about to turn around to come upstairs and there's a mirrored wall and he sees his daughter on the stairs. I thought it was a ghost, okay? And she goes, I got you good, right? He goes, yeah, you sure did. And as he's climbing up the stairs, right, he gets to the top and he turns around before he shuts the door and there was a ball on the steps and that ball came flying at him with such force. Now, again, could it have been faked? It just seemed a little too perfect, but it spooked me nonetheless. This is the dog one. You guys, I cannot believe this. It's 8:30 our time already.
Oh, wow.
That went by fast, Dave. Sandra, we'll read your comment and and Diane said that's interesting, David, your comment about the mirrors. Okay, so let's play this one. This is pretty... I don't know what you're going to think of it. Let's see. This is with the reason why I tend to think there's something more to it. Unless these people were very complicated and photoshopped the people out of this video and stuff. Because one of the first questions I always ask people if I'm working with them with the paranormal, do you have small children or animals? And I do. Because I believe small children and animals can be spirit, things that we can't see. So hang on. I don't know what this is. So you see. Hang on. Okay.
Now, the person who took this owns not only this house, but a multitude of dogs. Each pet, according to them, is deeply cared for, as they can't help but treat their dogs like children. However, just like kids, there are moments when they do things that make them feel spooked. Whether it's staring at an empty space or growling at something that isn't there, they act in ways that are very peculiar. This is something that the owner has tried to ignore or pass off as something normal, but after encountering the following incident, they now believe that something else is going on. In the following video, the owner is alone at home when this is captured.
Here. Wow.
I was expecting something big at first, but I just thought, uh-oh, you let it in.
Yeah, right.
Happens all the time.
I think Bizarre Bob added the stupid background effect.
Now, this wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. It was just then that he was able to capture what both he and his wife had been experiencing. These knockings don't seem to have a common source, as they happen randomly throughout the house. On one occasion, the man's wife is alone at home when suddenly she captures this.
This is where the dogs finally come in.
Okay. It just happened again and the dogs are freaked out. Get it. David, come over here. Get it. You be right there. Something opens that door, you need to get him.
This would freak me out if my dog was freaking out and there was knocks at the door
God, I don't
at
know if it's
night.
gonna happen again. It just happened again.
That would freak me out.
Move, 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 move. Nobody there. The dog stopped barking now. Davey's freaking out by the door though.
Just like before, the source of these knocks is nowhere to be found. It isn't surprising to the couple that they can't see who or what is knocking. They believe that it's something supernatural. Given the strange behavior exhibited by their dogs, as well as other odd experiences they've had, it only makes sense to them that something unexplainable is happening. But like all videos, this incident remains elusive. Just what exactly did the couple get on camera?
So what do you think of that?
I would say that if I would think something like that would totally happen because I mean I know stuff
No,
like
but
that.
wouldn't that freak you out at night
Oh
time?
my God, it was good. You know what I wanted to do, and maybe I'll do it later. And this is that I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not a buzzkill. I promise you. I like the video, and I know stuff like that happens. My curious part of me though wanted to blow up and look where the door was that had the big knock on it, and see if there are vibrations on the door. Just because it was so hard. Because if there's not a vibration, if there's no vibrations on that door, that means it wasn't anybody outside doing it. And I don't think it was, but I'm saying that would prove that there was nobody outside doing it. If you could, if you don't see
my point is, the dog, like when they made this big deal about the dogs, and the first part you see, I'm thinking, what? Because I've seen a video where the dog keeps ending back up outside. I don't know if it's real or not, but this thing, right, with the knocking, then I thought he opened the door. I thought, why did you open the door? Because you can't let something in, whether it's there or not. Like, why'd you open the door?
Oh, the big compound. And she looked outside.
The way the dogs were reacting, that because my dog is, I don't even have to send something in my house. My dog will tell me I have a cat and a dog, but the dog, especially, and Julie Jean Bassett, if she's still here, will contest to my dog how connected she is to the other side. My dog and what she does, I've got pictures of where my dog led me one time. I don't have the activity in this house that I did in the previous one, but she kept, and my dog's not a hyper dog. She's pretty calm. And she'd all of a sudden just start, and she gets really anxious, and then she starts tracking, and she tracks and she tracks. And it's kind of like there's a dining room, kitchen, living room, and it's kind of rectangular, and a hallway, and you can do a loop. And my dog would loop, and then I have a chair closest to, there's a sliding glass door, and she kept going behind there, and she'd sniff, and she'd stop, and she'd growl a little bit. She never growls. And then she'd back up, her hackles would be up, and she'd look at me like, look, mom, look, mom, look, mom. And at first I didn't. But after a couple days when she did this was a couple summers ago, I do have pictures. It literally looks like two little eyes. So I didn't bother cleansing. I ended up having, because I think it's always good to have a second opinion. I do. So I had somebody I work with that does remote viewing and whatever. Their team had a quick check-in. There was something there. There was. Don't know what it is, but it was removed. And I've had a few things here and there, nothing major. And like one time my partner Dell came in and he says he felt like something grabbed his back when he was coming in. And believe me, Dell is a skeptic. I always say to him, it's never paranormal till it happens to you. I'm serious. I do say that. And I said, well, you just march your butt right back outside and tell it to get off and leave. So that's what we did, right? So I think, yeah, Julie just said my dog is very connected. She is. And, so oh God, David, what happened? Oh God. Oh, sorry guys. I thought I pushed the wrong button. I disconnected you. I hope David's okay. He just popped off, you guys. I hope everything's okay. He didn't maybe lose his internet. Oh, there he is. Good. I was like, oh my God.
It got it.
I thought I pushed the wrong button. I was highlighting Julie's comment going, oh my God, David, where did you go?
I was watching it, and all of a sudden both of our screens went blank, like buffering. And then I thought, okay, I think I just started typing. Oh yeah, the typing didn't even come out. That's odd because I just typed. Are you frozen? Or are you gone? And then all of a sudden the whole thing went.
You completely disappeared. I was just highlighting Julie's comment and you were gone. And I went, oh my God, like, where did you go, David? And
well,
then
what happened was I just flipped into another timeline real quick and came back.
Oh, you did? Oh my gosh, I'm covered in goosebumps because I was just saying, Julie said, yep, my dog is really connected. You know what? We have one other video before we end. I will have to show it right now, but it's kind of nice. It's quick. It's 2 of them in the last video compilation. And it's kind of similar to what you shared, that you believe your brother Kevin was letting your other brother know, like, cut it out. But it's kind of nice confirmation from the spirit world. So maybe we can save a few minutes because this is an interesting comment Contessa made. She says, I have heard mirrors are portals, and I have a few people that Nicole says she's going to look this up. Go ahead, Nicole. You're our resident Sherlock Holmes, female Sherlock Holmes, because you always find stuff, and we thank you for that.
She's Sharisha Holmes.
Sharisa? Shall we call her Sharisha? Sherlock? That's a terrible name, but Sharisa Holmes. So Contessa said she heard mirrors are portals. I know a few people that cover their mirrors at night. So do you want to start, or you want me to start?
Mirrors can be portals. They can.
I agree.
Not every one of them are, but they can be. I guess some people might. I know that during, and I think, and pardon me if you're Jewish and I say this wrong, please don't hurt me. But I think it's at Jewish wakes, don't they cover the mirrors up on wakes but not because of ghosts or portals, but because of vanity. So we shouldn't be concerned with ourselves. We're supposed to be there for the person who
well, at Irish wakes, they're called. I don't know if they cover them up or not, but I believe they may, but it depends on your belief system. So I'm going to give you what Spirit's always given me. I think it's what you perceive becomes what you believe, and it becomes your reality. Have I heard of mirrors being portals? They can be, if you go back to the theory that everything is energy. And we're on the other side, we're energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can be transferred from one place to another. So I don't want to say that all mirrors are portals, because I think if you really want to do something on the other side, and you want to do it, you can pretty well manipulate anything. That's why I believe spirits can walk through walls and things. We probably could too, if we were always taught to believe.
Well, if you were literally living in the 5th dimension, you'd be walking through walls. Yep, in the 5th. Yep.
So Diane, Diane Brighton said Orthodox Jewish cover mirrors for both. So it depends. Have you guys ever seen Fried Green Tomatoes? That movie?
I never have.
Pardon?
I never have. Isn't that weird? I'm aware of the movie. I've just never watched it.
You have to watch it. It's a touching movie. But at the end, when you go back in time, though, and I want to give a lot away, but there is an important character who passes away. And I don't believe they're any particular religion, but it was way back in the day. They cover the mirrors when there was a death. They also would stop the clocks too, depending on your belief system, right?
Yeah.
I think it really has to do with your belief system.
It really does. It has to do with the belief system. I mean, this stuff has been passed down through hundreds of thousands of years, and I mean, who knows? So, I mean, you just do whatever chips your trigger.
I was just telling a friend of mine, Julie, you know her, Leanne, I forgot what we were talking about. And I don't even know how I got on the topic, because we don't always get time to chat. So a voice message back and forth. And I got on a tangent about an old nursing thing that I had learned way back in the day in university. And then I really started, I know what it was, about castor oil. Because it's supposed to be, I'm not giving medical advice. It was just a conversation I had for people listening, that apparently it can be good for scars. And I have a scar that looks like a deep wrinkle. So one of my other friends had suggested castor oil. And with this friend I was having the conversation. I was saying what we use it for in nursing from back in the old days. And as I kept thinking about it, there's a lot of really amazing nursing tricks that I learned from way back in the day, long before when I became a nurse, that actually were so effective. And the reason why I say that, I think there's a lot of things way back in the day that there may have been a reason why people decided like covering the mirrors was important. We may not know the real reason why, but people continue to do it because of tradition.
Yeah, because of tradition. So somewhere along the line, hundreds of thousands of years ago, somebody freaked out and said, "That's it. I'm putting a cloth over this mirror," and it became a tradition. So, or like they said, if you're going to something as somber as a funeral for something, their belief might be, hey, we're not supposed to be checking ourselves out in the mirror and see how good we're here for that person, not for ourselves. So I guess that's why they might too. I mean, whatever people want to do. I do agree with Lorilei though. There are mirrors that are portals, and I don't know if they're portals 24 hours a day, but there are. But
that's not the only way you can have a portal.
No, it's not. But I do believe as far as mirrors and portals go, I think there's more that are not than that are.
I have a spooky story about a mirror. And if you've seen the movie Constantine, at the beginning with the mirror, that it claims something broke out of it. And it's too long to get into because I do want to show you guys this last video, because I think it gives us all kind of a nice feeling if we wonder if our loved ones are still with us. And as David said earlier, and I agree 100% that we never really die. Yeah. But I was involved with a paranormal case that started with a mirror that looked like, that's what it made me think of. It was all cracked. It was an old antique mirror and had a big hole in the middle. And this person definitely had activity, because I had talked to them on Skype and video. We had become friends. This was years ago, and I saw some crazy stuff, and believe me, they weren't faking it. Crazy stuff that if I had not seen it with my own eyes, I don't think I would have believed it. Julie says that Feng Shui says not to have mirrors in the bedroom. That has to do with energy, right? And the way you set your belongings and you arrange them. There's a whole, I was looking into it a bit, but it's really complicated. But there's actually guides and there's apps that you can use. And if you
I tried to Feng Shui my office, but according to Feng Shui, I should not have my back to the door and all that. I'm like, I'm looking out the window. Screw Feng Shui. I'm not putting my desk there.
Okay, so Diane Brighton feels that Ouija boards are portals. Again, I believe that what you believe or what you perceive becomes what you believe, and it becomes your reality. There's also when you get into collective energy. We can take the Bible, for example. The Bible has a lot of positive collective energy per se. Not everybody uses it maybe the way it was intended, but overall, if you mention a Bible to most people that have heard of one or utilize it, there's a collective good energy around it. Ouija boards, on the other hand, it's just a tool, but you need to know how to use the tool. And I have a story about it, but there's also a collective belief with a large amount of people globally, very negative beliefs. Now, am I saying something evil hasn't happened maybe with people with them? It could have. What's your thoughts, Dave?
My honest to God thoughts on Ouija boards being evil or portals. Everybody, I don't buy it. I think it has to do with the person using it. I really do. Because like Lorilei said, and I agree, it's a tool. It's a tool to use to do something. And tools can be misused if they're misused by people who don't know how to use them. Like if somebody took your screwdriver and used it to pound a hole in the wall, okay, that's a misuse of that tool. It's going to bring bad things. It's going to put a hole in your wall. I think with like Ouija boards, I've played many of Ouija boards. I bought a Ouija board from someplace, put it in my house. So for me, and I had some weird experiences with Ouija boards. But like I said, I don't think it's the board. I think it's the people playing the board.
And you need to be taught how to use it properly. I have an analogy. It's too long to get into tonight. And it's about Ouija boards, chainsaws, and chain link fences. Basically, it's a tool.
Yep.
And if you're not taught how to use the tool, including putting it away properly or ending the session, right? I think, again, it basically boils down to what Dave said. It can be the person.
Yeah,
A little bit of knowledge is dangerous. So have somebody show you who knows how to manage it and work with it and use the tool effectively, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we're at.
I've got some of the pictures. I didn't hang them all up in here, but I have like the cards in the tarot decks and all that are supposed to be the spooky evil ones. I had pictures of them all over. Nothing spooky evil ever happened to me. So I mean, it's just they're things are representations of things, and it's whether you're going to put it into your belief system or not. That's all it is. There's no right or wrong. But
I agree. Well, I'm going to show this last one, then we're almost out of time. This is the fastest 2 hours of my week. I swear, David. I think as we're talking about this and keep talking and everybody's involved, it just flies by.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to play this now? I thought this was a nice way to end tonight, and then we'll tell you guys how to find us and everything. Okay, so hang on.
Next segment features 2 videos, both of which have something in common. In the first clip, which comes from Casey Lee, something happens that to this day gives her goosebumps whenever she thinks about it. On this particular night, Casey was having a few drinks at her house. Feeling a bit tipsy, she begins to talk out loud. She speaks as if Chris, her deceased husband, was still around. Despite being gone, she talks to him as though he were there. What happens next chills her to the core. Watch.
Chris, please watch over Boston. Daddy's got you, okay? I'll make sure you're okay. I think he'll make sure I'm okay too. That. Really? Oh my God, I couldn't have timed that any better. I hope those cameras pick that up. That's insane.
The light flickers as if letting her know that he's listening. Aside from flickering at the right time, it flickers not once, but twice, which viewers believe is a sign that it wasn't a problem with the electricity. Even before this, the dogs appear to sense someone familiar. Understandably, this footage never fails to bring Casey to tears. But as if this wasn't already sentimental enough, the following video captures this. Josie Sanchez is alone at home when something happens that prompts her to take out her phone.
Do it again, Dad. Do it again, Dad. Do it again. Flick the light.
What it says is, my dad knew I needed him today, and he showed me he was here with me. Hi, Kevin. See Sun Dragon.
Flick the light, Dad. Oh my God. Oh.
Just like the video prior, Josie believes that this was a sign. Her dad, according to her, was reaching out by flickering the light. As with Casey's footage, many viewers feel that something supernatural had happened. But as always, I'll let you come up with your own judgment.
So what'd you guys think?
The first one, definitely, because I mean, even when you watch the light, her actions and everything, I think her video all adds up to that was true. The way the light went. The second one, I'm not going to say it's not true because of the fact that she felt it was true, and that's what matters in this point. The lights flicker differently in the 2 videos, but I think both the videos are wonderful, and that stuff does happen. And it's happened to me a million times. You can be as skeptical as you want about that, but I'll tell you, as far as like the good stuff happening to me with the paranormal, the really cool stuff that makes you smile and makes you laugh and makes you go, that was awesome, you know. that stuff is, I love that stuff.
I thought it was a nice way to end the video or the show tonight. And again, you know what? I think that if you experience something, especially if you believe it's a loved one, you know what? You don't need someone that does mediumship or psychic abilities or whatever. If you know in your heart of hearts that you feel that was your loved one, you take it as a sign, and I say go for it. You don't need to debunk it because that helps with the healing process.
Exactly. We're not here to debunk something that beautiful. That's totally in the eye of the beholder, you know. But I love that first one because I stared at that one. I was trying to catch it. But even her reaction is perfect.
So Nicole, now we got to sign off. You guys, Nicole said my mom's bathroom light has flickered ever since my dad died, even after changing the bulb. And Kathy also said, I believe it was the husband and then the father in the second. Thanks, guys. I appreciate hearing your comments. Dave, you want to tell everybody where to find you?
Yes, if you would like to know more about me or book a reading or any of those fun things, you can go to my website, theywhispertome.com. It's the only place you can book a reading with me. I never, ever DM you or give you a private message for anything. Please follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Medium David Hanzel, spelled just like that, at Medium David Hanzel. No numbers, no slashes or anything else. My YouTube channel is The Spirit Experience, and also my Facebook group is called The Spirit Experience. And that was a lot to say.
Yes. And don't forget our group on Facebook because we post these videos, especially for those of you listening. And Nicole Thomas Ryan has been awesome as our Charissa Holmes. I'll try to remember that name. She found one of the videos we talked about earlier tonight. And let's hope we'll get a better idea watching the whole thing exactly versus the compilation cut that was put on Bizarre Bobs tonight. So if you don't join the group, we'd love to have you though. When David and I get 200 people, we said we're going to start going live, do some one question live free reading, pull card pulls, and what have you. So also, if you ever want to get a hold of me on facebook.com/the Angel Rock right now. Just message me, you guys. The easiest way you can find me on any social media. Heck, another one, somebody actually got a hold of me on the Wix app. I do have a website, but I'm revamping it. I am actually going to, you can do everything all in one spot, booking a reading, it'll be a domain name, the whole thing. So I'm working on that right now. But you can get a hold of me. I also want to add, if it's not clear, I don't charge for paranormal help, just so people know that. I've had a few people reach out and have needed a little bit of help or had a question, but were worried they had to pay me for it. And I said, no, I have that right on my page. I don't charge for paranormal help. Also have two groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal and the Angel Rocker Tribe for more spiritual type things. And don't forget, you guys, if you like what you see, please hang around for the second night of the Outer Realm with the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Also, don't forget the Angel Rock on Monday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I looked up who it was and then I forgot the name. It's going to be somebody cool. I know it is because
somebody cool.
What's that? Yeah. I think that's everything I wanted to share with you. Otherwise, you're going to find me and Dave here next week, same time, same space. And I saw that question that you asked, Contessa, about Ouija boards. If that's something you guys want to talk about.
Next week. I've got a whole bunch of stuff on that. That's a good subject to talk on.
It's a great subject.
Divination and oracles.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on that and different tools and things. Whatever you guys want to talk about, let us know. It's your show. That's why we do this show. So we love y'all. Stay spooky. Okay, Dave, are you ready?
Yep. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
I started too soon.
I started too late. I don't think we're ever going to get that, but we'll keep trying. Otherwise, just one of us will see it.
Yeah, we'll both see you. We love y'all. We'll see you next week. Okay, hang in there. Have fun. Stay safe. And share your stuff, you guys. You want to see what you got to share in the group. Questions, you got things you want to share, you want to ask questions or show ideas. We'd love to see them. Okay, hang on. We're ending.